What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Chargers Now is presented by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. I'm Will Ortner, and we're going to be discussing a couple of hot takes that the great Colin Cowherd had on the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, for those of you who don't know me well enough yet, you're going to learn that I am a big Colin Cowherd fan. In fact, he's one of the big reasons why I wanted to get into sports media. And so when I listen to Colin, I kind of still listen to Colin with a little bit of that little kid glow. Now, there is something that is important to mention here, that when I listen to Cowherd, it can be a little bit to a degree of bias towards Cowherd being right. So when I tell you that Cowherd has a take that doesn't make sense, it really doesn't make sense. When I tell you that Cowherd has a take that makes sense, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. But I am telling you right now that one of his takes on the Los Angeles Chargers, I think when today's video is over, you'll come to agree with me. Now, the first take that Cowherd had, and this is the one I don't know that I think makes a whole lot of sense, is that the Chargers did not protect the shield. Now, what's interesting about this is what could Colin possibly be talking about when he says the Chargers did not protect the shield? Well, obviously we had the schedule release videos that went out in the National Football League. And the Los Angeles Chargers had an interesting take on their video. They always do. I felt like watching it, it was a fun throwback. You've got the Halo release. There's fun little jokes here, fun little jokes there. And Cowherd, well, he just had a different view on it. Cowherd said, protect the shield. You want controversies to go away? That is my take. That is not smart. It gets a laugh in the room. You're building a brand. I do not think that was smart by the Chargers social media team. That is not protecting the shield. Social media people get fired in corporations for the wrong tweet. The NFL is run by old guys. Old, rich guys. I'm sorry. It just is. Now, in my personal opinion, this is a take here by Cowherd that is a little bit old. I like Colin a lot. And I think that he does a very good job of blending real life with sports takes. And Cowherd here looked a little too deep into a video that really doesn't need to be looked into that much. The Chargers came out with a schedule release video. It was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to poke fun at certain things. The NFL, they trusted their social media teams and their teams in the National Football League to have fun with it, but not go too crazy. And I frankly didn't think that the Chargers schedule release video went that crazy. Did you have any issues with the Chargers schedule release video? Let us know down below in the comment section, yes or no. I'm very interested to hear what your take is. I think the Chargers do a great job of building a brand through social media, and this is one of the ways that they do it. Personally, I disagree here with Colin. I think that when you look at this Chargers video, there is nothing that is egregious in it. It feels like a video that was poking fun at a situation. Obviously, where he's upset is the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini little jab that the Chargers took. I think that most people didn't realize that that was even in the schedule release video. In fact, I, for one, kind of had to go back to even double check that it was there. I didn't realize that this was that big of a deal, and frankly, I still don't think it is that big of a deal. When you look at the schedule release videos, they're supposed to be fun. I know the Tennessee Titans had a fun one the other year where they went down on, Broadway Street or whatever it is down in Nashville, and they were asking some of the owners or some of the people walking by what were the names of certain teams with their logos. So in my opinion, these are just supposed to be fun. And when Cowherd has a take like that, it just kind of takes the fun out of what is supposed to be a special thing. We're going to get into one more of Cowherd's takes, but first I got to let you know that today's show is made possible by SeatGeek. When it's time to get out of the house, there's not many better options right now than a ball game. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including sports, concerts, festivals, and so much more. I was going on SeatGeek because I wanted to see what it would be like to grab a Chargers ticket for that Week 1 matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. SeatGeek made it super easy. I just went on to that game, clicked trying to find one of those green dots so I could get the best deal possible. I love being near the end zone. I love watching the guys score a lot of touchdowns. Whether it's a Chargers game with a special lady friend or a Co-Wetzel concert with the boys, SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. And of course I have a code for you guys. You can use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with the promo code CHAT10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you so very much to SeatGeek. Shout out to SeatGeek. Now, for the rest of today's program, we're going to go into more depth on Cowherd's take on the Chargers, but more importantly, the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. Cowherd is someone who has been known for kind of stirring up controversy from time to time with his rankings. And I don't think that there are many people in the National Football media landscape that understand the game quite as well as Colin Cowherd. That was a lot of word salad to say. Cowherd knows when to get a reaction. He wants to elicit a reaction every time he goes on the mic. Every time that he talks, he doesn't care if you like him. He doesn't care if you hate him. What he cares about is that you care about what he's talking about. And so Cowherd released his top 10 QBs, and frankly, I thought he hit the nail pretty darn right on the head. Now, there's going to be a couple of players here that maybe are a little bit too high, maybe are a little bit too low. I think there's a little bit of different strokes for different folks when you look at kind of the back end. Maybe you'd rather have a Jalen Hurts over a Sam Darnold, or, you'd rather have a Baker Mayfield in there when he's healthy instead of a Jared Goff, whatever. But what I think is important is where he has his Los Angeles quarterbacks. And at number 4, Colin Cowherd has Justin Herbert. And I think that for the first time in a very long time, I can say that a national media member has Justin Herbert properly ranked. And what do I mean by that? Justin Herbert is someone that I think gets absolutely unfairly ridiculed in the national media for things that are not necessarily his fault. Cowherd is a big fan of Herbert, just like I am, just like you are. And I think that there is too often this perception of, well, Justin Herbert hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, so he can't nearly be as good as his talent portrays him to be. And I disagree with that. And I think Cowherd illustrates that point perfectly here in this quote. Worst offensive line in the NFL, Cowherd said, made the playoffs. That is insane. He is beloved in the locker room. You could argue that he and Lamar Jackson are the most loved players in the NFL in their respective locker rooms. Finally, Herbert is getting recognition at that national level because Cowherd, when he gave his opinion on why he ranked Herbert where he did, was simple. You know what he is as a quarterback. There aren't many with more talent than Herbert, if any. But Justin Herbert might not have had the same success that others have had because of those around him. In my opinion, you cannot convince me that Herbert is not a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League other than you going into the wins and losses type of rankings. Now, to be fair to Herbert, there are some issues with this wins and losses rankings. What do I mean by that? Too often, quarterbacks get given wins and losses as a QB stat. And I'd make the argument that a lot of the losses that are on Herbert's resume right now are not solely, if at all, his fault. Let me know down below in the comment section because I'm a bit confused on it. Why doesn't the mainstream media like Justin Herbert more? Seems like he's a good kid. He does and plays the position very well. He does the right thing. He's a guy who played at the college that he grew up watching and idolizing, always wanted to be a Duck. Feels like Justin Herbert should be the perfect epitome of a quarterback that gets loved by the national media. Yet he doesn't. Why is that? I believe that Herbert is a top 5 QB in the National Football League, and I'm going to really go on to emphasize Cowherd's point here. Now, why do I believe that he's a top 5 QB? Well, his production, first of all, is off the charts, especially for someone that I think we can all agree had to deal with some issues that, again, not his fault. Coaching, injuries, offensive line. Look at his last 4 seasons, man. He almost has a 5,000-yard year in 22. In 23, he's injured, yet he still comes back, plays incredibly well. Doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. In fact, most of his interception numbers go down. And in 25, they really only went up because he knew he had to do more. His O-line was horrific. There were injuries at the running back position. There were injuries all over the field, offensively and defensively. Justin Herbert showed up when it mattered most. The guy is a freaking baller. He was the same way at Oregon. When the team needed him, he showed up. Everyone else was injured. That offensive line was horrific. There was no reason why that team last year should have made the NFL postseason, yet they did. And that's because of Justin Herbert. He's a great leader because everyone else is willing to follow him. Now, I understand that he might not give the best interviews because, well, frankly, he certainly doesn't want to give interviews. But when he talks in that locker room, you know that it means a lot to his teammates. He's much more of a lead by example than he is lead by my words. But oftentimes, leading by example is the best way. We all know that person that says, I get up in the morning, I grind, I don't eat candy, I don't do this, I don't do that. And then you look at them, get on the scale, and you go, hey, man, you're like 20 pounds overweight. You might not eat candy, but you drink a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't be drinking, and that's what adds a lot of weight to you. That's not Justin Herbert. If he says be at the facility at 5, he's at the facility at 5. He's a guy that gets it. We've got more to talk about here in just a moment, but I got to let you know that today's show is also made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. With playoff basketball here, there's no better time to cash in than with our friends at Prize Picks. And I'll tell you this, the app is really easy to use. To qualify for a Prize Picks lineup, pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections, including points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, and several others across all sports. One thing I really love is the new social feeds feature where you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. You can actually follow me on the app at BigWill7774 to see all of my lineups. I have a lineup for the basketball action going on later on this evening. Jalen Brunson, more on his points, rebounds, and assists. Jared Allen, more on his points and rebounds. New user offer. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. Well, being a great leader of the team and his production is high, you've never had a headache with Justin Herbert. I mean, think about it. What's his controversy right now? His girlfriend is Madison Beer and he appeared in a music video? Like, really? That's what we're doing? His controversy is that he didn't want to give an interview after a football game. Really? That's what we're getting upset about? You go back to his days in college. What's there a complaint about? There's no one in the media that talks about him being a bad guy. There's no one that talks about, oh, yeah, well, he had this run-in with the law, or his teammates around him don't like him. No one showed up to his birthday party. None of those stories exist with Justin Herbert. He is a guy who shows up every single day, and he's a hard worker, and his teammates want to be around him. And that is a big deal, and that's why we're so excited in Los Angeles to have Justin Herbert as the franchise quarterback. And what's most important at the end of the day, and I think this is ridiculous because I actually think it gets used as a knock against him, Justin Herbert overcomes weaknesses. Now, here in the Chat Sports offices, we got a lot of football sickos, right? That's why I work here. I'm a football sicko. You're watching this video in the middle of May. You're a football sicko. But I can't tell you how many times that I have gotten upset with people in our offices that say, if Justin Herbert doesn't win this year, I'm done with him. Well, what does that mean? Because Justin Herbert has won. He's gone to the playoffs multiple times with Coach Harbaugh. He had led a team last year that had no business making it to the postseason. They were horrible on the offensive line. They had injuries galore. Yet Justin Herbert willed that team to the playoffs. But because he loses in a playoff game, all of a sudden, it's, well, that's a negative on Herbert's resume. So it would have almost been better for Justin Herbert to not make the postseason in the national media's eyes or in the Chat Sports office's eyes. And I think that's ridiculous. Justin Herbert last year put the team on his back and led them to the postseason. That's the type of quarterback that the Chargers have. And in my opinion, he's only going to get better because he's only going to be able to diagnose the game more efficiently. The offense is going to be much improved under Mike McDaniel, and defenses are not going to be able to pin their ears back and just rush the quarterback the way that they were last season. Justin Herbert is a star, and I do agree with Colin Cowherd. I don't agree with his old man take on the schedule, but I could not agree more with his take on Justin Herbert. If you agree with me and Colin Cowherd that Justin Herbert is a top 5 QB in the National Football League, you're going to hit the thumbs up button on today's video. Thank you guys so much for viewing this show. Had a ton of fun making it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news or rumors around the Los Angeles Chargers. Thank you guys for checking us out, hanging out with us for the last, 15 to 20 minutes. We really appreciate it. And as always, bolt up.